Considered an extreme form of heavy metal, it's dark, it's groovy, it's guitar-driven, it's powerful, and it's adventurous. It is called doom metal. While the genre has been arguably around in one form or another for a long time, it would be codified and canonized by the English band Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath would take a blues-based sound and add elements from horror movies, the occult, and retooled music theory to make a sound that was ominous and rocking. They would be the main architect of the doom sound, from their unique compositional approach to the titles of their songs influencing every doom metal artist attempting to evoke from the Black Sabbath mythos. Dark forces would be stirring in America as well, in the form of Virginia native Pentagram. More like a doom metal training program for many of the style's notable players, Pentagram recorded no album throughout their career in the 70s. However, many singles were made, and those singles reflected an evolution of dark psychedelia into the depths of Baroque blues and metal. Doom Study 1 will feature a theme with 5 variations to them. The basic point of this study is to show you the usage of the Devil's Interval, which is the augmented fourth. Play your major scale, find your 4th note, and then raise it by a half step or sharpen it, and you will find that very same note. Doom would become more defined and diverse as a style when groups such as Witchfinder General from the UK, Candlemass from Sweden, Spiritus Mortis from Finland, Saint Vitus and Trouble from America would explore and push further the boundaries set by Black Sabbath and the other architects. Doom then started to divide off into subcultures that emphasized a certain aesthetic or compositional technique. Bands like Electric Wizard, Sleep, Caius, Down, Reverend Bizarre, and even reluctant pioneers the Melvins forged gateways into subtle nuances that featured another dimension of the doom concept. If the traditional doom sound was a dish, then the recipe would go a little bit like this. A half a cup of heavy distortion with Detune strings, a whole step to sometimes 2 to sometimes even deeper. 2 teaspoons of slowed down tempo, seasoned to taste with blues scales, riffs, and even blues instincts, minor thirds, flatted fifths / augmented fourth, the Devil's Interval, and droned strings. Simmer over clean vocals, and you'll garnish that with a slice of sadness, despair, fear, occult symbols, religious symbols, and social commentary in the lyrics. Epic doom would be similar, but we will substitute the slow tempo for gallops and grandiose drumming. We're going to add operatic vocals, and we're going to substitute lyrical content with themes that are drawn from fantasy and mythology. Drone doom, we're going to use an oblique song structure, emphasis on droned notes, obviously, that sustain for long periods of time. This is the most experimental subculture of doom, I have to say. It's very avant-garde, very experimental. Vocals are usually screamed, growled, or spoken. This is the one style where the vocals really need to be not as non-traditional as possible. And you want a minimalist aesthetic. Everything should be less is more when you do something like that. Now, stoner doom will explore the psychedelic territory of doom. As Black Sabbath came from the 70s and the start of the 70s, this was the closing days of the Summer of Love from the 60s, and much of the psychedelia of Cream, Jimi Hendrix, etc. bled into this sound. There will be heavy use of fuzz pedals, flanger, and phaser effects on the guitar, an emphasis again on detuned strings, and lyrical themes will include drug experiences and fantasy. As we move on to kind of a child of stoner doom, we have sludge doom. It's similar, but there will be hardcore punk influences that will rhythmically influence the style. A lot of the drumming of punk, a lot of the drum beats would find themselves in this style. This style primarily came from New Orleans, but the Melvins probably did one of the most influential jobs before there ever was a sludge label. The lyrical content is a mixture of stoner and traditional doom, but there's more of an emphasis on drug addiction and the darker side of it, and a lot of southern rock influences that will be in this as well.